Folks, I have a take on these LA riots that I guarantee you are not going to hear anywhere else on the internet. Not on X, not on Facebook, not in the mainstream media. Something that when you think about it, it's staring you right in the face and nobody is seeing it. What is the assumption being made by both sides of this case? The assumption being made is that the best thing for the immigrants is to stay in America, and the right just wants them to come here legally, and the left just wants them to stay indefinitely. Who's to say that the best thing that could happen to any of them would be to be deported? Maybe there's a better life for them in Mexico, in Brazil, in Colombia, and they just don't know it yet. You see, the assumption that even the MAGA right makes is, well, America is the best of everything, and I understand why they want to come here, but they need to come here legally. And what's the assumption on the left? Well, they're already here, and we assume that America is the best place ever, even though we argue against that every 4 years. And they just need to be protected, because if they go back to Mexico, or they go back to Brazil, or they go back to wherever they came from, that they have no chance of having a happy life. The only place they could ever have a happy life is in America. That's the false assumption. These people have been brainwashed. Some of them have woken up and said, you know what? America isn't as advertised. There are a lot of things about America that we read online that when we got here just wasn't true. Now, this is basic PsyOps 101. The idea that two opposing groups could have the exact same idea and not even realize it. The basis of MAGA is that, America has fallen from its greatness, and we need to make it better again, and the first thing we need to do is start deporting everybody who isn't European. The people on the left, the anti-MAGA crowd, believe that America just inherently is better than everywhere else, just by it being the fact of it being America, and that everyone should want to come here, and we should just open the doors and let everyone who wants to be here be here. What if the best life for those people is waiting elsewhere? Now, if you'd like to get read in on PsyOps, please join us, Florida Maquis Patreon channel. Love to have you over there. Could definitely use the support. 4 levels, 2, 5, 10, and 15 a month. Just put up a brand new video for the folks $5 and up. Need to know roundtable. Talking about a very specific PSYOP that gets people thinking like this. Now, I want you guys to check out a couple of channels whenever you get a chance. Touch of Light Homestead in Mexico. It's about this woman that moved to Mexico and has a very happy life and children and a homestead down there, and she has family back here in America, and she comes to visit once in a while, but she has no desire to pack up and leave Mexico because it's so horrible. Here's another one, another guy that lives down there and is happy as a clam. He's from Canada. Here's an Instagram page showing some of the most beautiful, affordable homes in Mexico. Are there problems in Mexico? Sure. But aren't there problems in the United States? Meaning, aren't there problems in the United States? Regardless of the immigration issue, we have a huge gang violence issue in virtually every one of our major cities. You could take away all of the MS-13 and take away all of this issue, and we would still have major problems, wouldn't we? Plus, on top of that, America is incredibly expensive. Let's see if I can find the right picture. You see, they show these pictures. Well, this is a neighborhood in Mexico, and over here is a neighborhood in America, and America is so much nicer. Folks, these houses pictured on the right, $700,000, $800,000, well over $1 million, well out of the reach of anybody working in a meatpacking plant in Omaha. Those people aren't going to be able to afford these homes. But Americans could easily go to Mexico and find some of the most beautiful places. This is Brazil, by the way. The people that should be the most offended by all of this rioting and all this crap in LA should be the Brazilians and the Mexicans. Because honest to God, they have. Why in the world would people believe that the only place in the world they could be happy? Yes, you could have this little chateau, this little bungalow for 18 grand. You could have this little bit nicer house. It's got a nice wraparound porch. It's got itself a yard. $44,000. Brazil. Anybody out there know any houses with land for sale for $44,000? $198,000. You can get an entire freaking farm in Brazil. These people have been brought here by big corporations to work like slaves in dehumanizing conditions in meatpacking plants. The best thing that might ever happen to them in their lives is to be deported back to where they came from. Let me say that again. The best thing for them might be to leave America. Not for Americans, but for them. Because there might be a happier, more prosperous life, more productive and fruitful life for them somewhere else. Colombia, Peru, Paraguay, Brazil, Mexico. This is what they call upper middle class real estate in Puerto Vallarta. This is Tucson Taylor, another YouTube, and he walks through parts of Mexico and shows different homes and what they look like. And many of the places he's walking through look like they could be in LA. Well, LA before they went to hell. I found this one, and folks, you're going to love this. Here's the view from the house in Brazil. Here's the view out the back deck over the ocean. You have 400 feet of private beach. And you have this beautiful yard. This house is for sale, by the way. This is the house itself. That's where the picture was taken, these little steps walking down. Here's the deck. Here's the view of the ocean over the bay. Florida Marquis, why are you showing us this? This must be millions and millions of dollars. Nobody could ever afford this. Here's a picture of the property. Got yourself seawall. It's 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. You've got a private garage and service area. There's also a separate little 1-bedroom, like grandma suite somewhere on the property as well. Look at this beautiful piece of oceanfront property. You know how much it costs? $330,000 to $350,000 US dollars negotiable. Oh, did I mention it's on a private island? Yeah. You can have a house on a private island in Brazil for 350 grand. 350 grand. You go into an average neighborhood like this in America, you're not going to find anything for 350 grand. Especially down here in Florida. You might find some things, but not 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms with 400 feet of private beach looking out over an ocean. So tell me again. I'm not saying that America is horrible and terrible in every single way, but there are crappy, horrible, terrible areas of America in every major city that you can't even walk through at night. Brazil has gangs. Mexico has gangs. America has gangs. Brazil, Mexico, and America all have homeless people. They all have problems. Things are expensive and people have challenges in everyday life. It doesn't mean that there's no hope in these other places. I was pulling this up, this Lincoln Star Journal. Meatpacking workers describe dehumanizing conditions in Nebraska plants. Well, wait a minute. I thought that all the immigrants were coming here to get away from dehumanizing conditions. You think maybe they might have been sold a bill of goods? So to speak? About what was waiting for them here? You say, we got these people that have been living here all this time, and these people rioting to not want to be deported when they might be rioting against the very thing that might make their life what they always hoped it would be. Being brought back to Mexico or Brazil or Uruguay or wherever they came from. America is not the only place where there is success and happiness and freedom and opportunity. I know the MAGAs would want you to believe that. The MAGAs would want you to believe the only place that you can truly be a patriot and live as God intended is in America, and that's just horse shit. That's just total and complete bunk. It's horse shit. You can live as God intended in a great many places in the world. Not trying to say that America is all horrible, but we got issues. This country has issues. And you have the left that's trying to prevent people from what could be an opportunity to realize their dreams by being deported from the United States. Somebody somewhere probably is going to say, you know what? I got deported. I thought it was the worst thing that ever happened to me. But then a few things different happened and I just went forward and now I have the happiest life ever. Who's to say that's not going to be the case for them? That they don't even want to try to reapply to come here legally. That maybe they've had their gut full of what America really is. And don't we hear that all the time about what America really is? This corporate state that enslaves people? I mean, yeah, this is also a public housing effort in Brazil. Not everywhere in Brazil is perfect and wonderful and beautiful, beachfront property. But if those people, at least here, this looks fairly clean, and each individual would have at least their own home. They wouldn't all be just jammed into some FEMA internment camp, like we're going to see here with Americans pretty quick. Wherever you go, wherever you go, there's going to be challenges, and there's going to be things that are good and things that are not so good. But the part to me that is the most curious is that the left, and I guess you can mark this down at 12 and a half minutes, the left and the right are both proceeding from the same assumption. The left believes the people that are doing the riots, the people that are burning everything, what do they believe? Oh no, if ICE deports these people, it's going to be the worst thing that ever happened to them. Why? Why do they believe that? Because, well, by default, America is the best place ever. That's what they believe. What does the right believe? The right believes, well, yes, America is the best place ever, and we need to make sure that the only people that are allowed to take part in this best of everything ever country are those that have been vetted and have passed a test and agreed to speak nothing but English and have come through Washington, D.C. and gotten their butt stamped with the approval of the folks, in Congress, and that they're here legally. Because, as we know, nowhere else in the world can anyone be happy, can anyone have freedom, can anyone be blessed. We're the only place. Don't you think that's an insane assumption for both groups to make? Maybe it's just me. So, I'll leave it there. God bless. Love to have you join us at Patreon. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.